Jane Eyre by Charlotte Brontë. Summary: Jane Eyre is a novel by Charlotte Brontë, published in 1847, that follows the journey of Jane Eyre, an orphan girl who faces adversity and social limitations as she seeks love, independence, and self-respect. Set in Victorian England, the novel explores themes of social class, gender inequality, and morality, ultimately portraying Jane's resilience and strength in the face of hardship. Through her experiences, Brontë presents a unique and powerful narrative of self-discovery and the pursuit of happiness. Plot summary. 1. Jane's early life at Gateshead and Lowood. The novel begins with young Jane Eyre living with her cruel aunt, Mrs. Reed, at Gateshead. Mrs. Reed mistreats Jane and isolates her from her cousins. Eventually, Jane is sent to Lowood School, a charity institution for orphaned girls. The conditions at Lowood are harsh. The girls suffer from inadequate food, cold, and strict discipline imposed by the school's hypocritical headmaster, Mr. Brocklehurst. Jane forms a deep friendship with Helen Burns, a kind, spiritual girl who influences her sense of morality and inner strength. Helen's tragic death from tuberculosis leaves a lasting impact on Jane, strengthening her resolve. 2. Thornfield Hall and Mr. Rochester. After completing her education and teaching at Lowood, Jane takes a position as a governess at Thornfield Hall. She is employed to teach Adelvarance, the ward of Mr. Edward Rochester, the master of Thornfield. Jane finds Thornfield to be a mysterious and isolated place, but she soon becomes captivated by Mr. Rochester, a brooding, complex man with a troubled past. Despite their social and economic differences, a bond forms between Jane and Rochester, and Jane falls in love with him. However, strange occurrences in the mansion, such as eerie laughter and mysterious fires, hint at secrets hidden within Thornfield. 3. Jane and Rochester's love and the revelation of Bertha. Rochester proposes to Jane, and she joyfully accepts, believing she has finally found happiness. However, on their wedding day, the ceremony is interrupted by Mr. Mason, who reveals that Rochester is already married. Rochester confesses that he has a wife, Bertha Mason, who is mentally ill and violent. He has kept her hidden in the attic at Thornfield, cared for by a servant, Grace Poole. Devastated and heartbroken, Jane refuses to compromise her morals by staying with Rochester as his mistress and decides to leave Thornfield. 4. Jane's time at Moor House and St. John Rivers. Alone and penniless, Jane eventually finds refuge with the Rivers siblings, St. John, Diana, and Mary. Jane discovers that she is related to them and that her uncle has left her a considerable inheritance, which she chooses to share with her newfound family. St. John, a stern and ambitious clergyman, proposes marriage to Jane and asks her to accompany him on a missionary journey to India. Though she admires his dedication, Jane realizes that marrying St. John would mean sacrificing her independence and happiness, as their relationship lacks love and warmth. She refuses, remaining true to her emotional needs and sense of self. 5. Return to Thornfield and reunion with Rochester. Jane feels a mysterious pull to return to Thornfield and discovers the mansion in ruins, having been destroyed by a fire set by Bertha Mason, who died in the blaze. Rochester, in his attempt to save Bertha, was injured and is now blind and has lost a hand. Jane, moved by compassion and love, reunites with Rochester, and they confess their deep feelings for each other. Free from his past, Rochester proposes to Jane again, and she accepts, now on equal terms and free from societal constraints. They marry and live a life of mutual respect, love, and companionship. Eventually, Rochester's sight partially returns, and they have a child, fulfilling Jane's dreams of family and belonging. Key themes. 1. Independence and self-respect. Jane's journey reflects her desire for independence and self-respect. Despite her love for Rochester, she refuses to compromise her integrity by staying with him under unethical circumstances. Her resilience in the face of adversity highlights her dedication to her principles. 2. Love and equality in relationships. The novel emphasizes the importance of love and equality in relationships. Jane's love for Rochester is based on mutual respect and understanding, not wealth or social standing. Their reunion, based on equality and shared values, illustrates Brontë's progressive view on marriage. 3. Class and social critique. Brontë critiques the rigid social hierarchy of Victorian England, highlighting Jane's struggle as a poor, orphaned girl. Despite her intelligence and moral strength, Jane faces prejudice due to her social class, challenging the constraints of class-based society. 4. Religion and morality. Religion plays a complex role in the novel, with characters like Helen Burns embodying Christian virtues of forgiveness and kindness, while Mr. Brocklehurst represents hypocrisy. St. John's dedication to religion contrasts with Jane's balanced sense of morality, emphasizing the importance of compassion and personal faith. Conclusion. Jane Eyre by Charlotte Brontë is a powerful tale of resilience, independence, and the pursuit of genuine love. Through Jane's journey from a mistreated orphan to a fulfilled, self-assured woman, Brontë advocates for women's rights to autonomy and equality in relationships. The novel's exploration of social constraints, morality, and personal growth has made it a beloved classic, resonating with readers who admire Jane's courage, intellect, and unyielding commitment to her own values.